Boris Johnson. You remember that guy, right? The guy that introduced the green bus revolution? Well, guess what? It's in chaos because as government admits, the scheme that costs millions of pounds isn't working. We'll have a look at this from iNews, guys. Let's go. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, guys, wherever you are in the world. This is REGANELITE here with an article from iNews. Just in case anybody asks, if you do hear some noise of children in the background, it's from my house next door. Can't do anything about it. So if you do happen to hear it, you've been told. The headline is Boris Johnson's green bus revolution in chaos as government admits the scheme that costs millions isn't working. Oh look, more taxpayer money has been thrown away. Are we surprised? The Department for Transport has quietly been writing to local authorities in recent months to tell them it has paused funding for retrofitting as a result of poor performance. A flagship pledge by Boris Johnson to turn Britain's bus service green is facing fresh problems after the government admitted a scheme to reduce emissions that cost millions is not working. Local councils have spent at least £45 million since 2016's retrofitting order diesel buses with selective catalytic reductions (SCRs) exhausters, which were supposed to reduce the amount of nitrous oxide they emit. But the Department for Transport has quietly been writing to local authorities in recent months to tell them that it has paused funding for retrofitting as a result of poor performance. The decision comes after data collected from 3 cities, including Manchester, last year showed levels of pollution increased compared to 2021. An urgent review is now being carried out with the results set to be published in the autumn. The retrofitting scheme was meant to work as a stopgap while the government attempted to roll out 4,000 green buses that run on electricity or hydrogen in July 2025. Somehow, guys, I do not think we're going to hit that. Just don't think the government are keen on getting that done, you know. Don't know why, just have a feeling, you know. They really don't have a tendency to keep their word. They have a habit of either doing U-turns and just changing their minds on things, don't they? Former Prime Minister Boris Johnson made the pledge in 2020 as part of the flagship £5 billion policy to boost easier and more affordable travel across Britain. Yep, he said that. How's that going for us right now? Not well. The policy is already floundering. However, Transport Secretary Mark Harper forced to admit in May that only 87 green buses are currently on the road outside London. Now councils are facing further headaches in their bid to cut emissions and meet net zero targets due to the bombshell problem with the retrofit scheme. It is not clear how many buses are affected or how much money has been spent on retrofitting them, but in 2016 the government said it had already spent around £20 million on upgrading more than 2,000 buses, and a further £25 million to retrofit buses in 14 local authorities were announced in 2019. The true figures are likely to be far higher, as just one region, Greater Manchester, says it has already spent nearly £18 million retrofitting around 1,000 buses since 2015. A report published by the region's Air Quality Administrations Committee this week revealed that the government carried out a study to quantify nitrous oxides and nitrous dioxide emissions linked to buses at the end of 2022 in 3 cities, including Manchester. The monitoring indicated that retrofitting buses were not reducing emissions as expected, with significant variations in performance between bus models with different retrofitting technologies, the report said. A letter sent by the Department of Transport to Transport for Greater Manchester in April states funding has been paused until a review is carried out, with results expected in the autumn. We do not recommend any further retrofitting purposes are to be made until this research is being completed, the letter says. A similar letter was sent to Birmingham City Council according to the Freedom of Information request by Row 1 magazine. Councillors have been left furious in what appears to be a huge waste of public money, which they claim has also left Greater Manchester struggling to finalise its plans for a clean air zone. Now, before I just go any further, something just kind of clocked on me here. Who is actually retrofitting these buses? Like, what companies are being doing it? Because if what they're saying is that the emissions is actually going up instead of going down, what are they putting in these buses that aren't? What is the main issue, the main crux of it that is causing it? Because, correct me if I'm wrong, I mean, I might be a little bit crazy, but they didn't actually say what exactly is causing these buses to not reduce emissions. Am I going crazy? I think I'm going crazy. Mark Roberts, a Lib Dem councillor for Stockport, where have I heard that city before, told the committee it was incredibly frustrating that the government, city, I said town, has dropped its bombshell about buses on us as they usually have. Abdul Jamil, a Labour councillor in Oldham, added, to say that retrofitting doesn't work in the real world after spending millions of pounds of public money is just unbelievable. Where do they test these things? Hundreds of vehicles have been retrofitted and they're not getting the benefits of a cost of nearly 15 million. This is taxpayer money. A government spokesperson says, we're working closely with local councils to help them improve air quality, including with using technology to help improve bus emissions. We have paused the rollout of this bus retrofitting technology and are conducting further research to understand the technology and to work out how best it could be improved. That's all well and good, but I'd like to know some answers. I'd like to know the answers. I'd like to know why. What is it that, why are these buses, if you're stopping the scheme and it's not working, can, you know, what is it, how do you know it's definitely linked to the buses? That's the thing that's kind of scratching my head. I'm thinking, is it really because of the buses? Just maybe, perhaps the companies behind the retrofitting, maybe. I just feel like there's way too many questions when it comes to this topic here, because you would think that these buses are making the difference, but if they're not making the difference, the question is why. And what's more infuriating, of course, guys, is taxpayers' money has been wasted. I mean, there are a lot worse things that our taxpayers' money has been thrown away by, but this is still another issue that is wasting taxpayers' money. If we're retrofitting buses and they're not making a difference, the question is who's retrofitting these buses and why are they not making the difference, allegedly, is the question we need to be asking ourselves. That is for sure. But what do you guys think? Let me know down in the comments below about this. You know, a scheme that's supposed to be obviously helping make a difference, and it's not making a difference. Why do you think it's not making a difference? Who do you think is ultimately responsible for this? Because taxpayers' money has been wasted as a result of this. So I'm eager to hear what you guys think. Like, share and subscribe as always. Thank you very much for watching, and I will catch you all very, very soon.